Welcome to the Ask Us Anything webinar series, where your questions are answered. It's the first one for 2023. This is a quick catch-up where you can ask and we will answer your questions live. This time, we will start with a short presentation, how we can register users in the platform, and then we will answer your questions live. Now, I'm Mary. I'm the Customer Education Manager presenting today, and behind the scenes, we have Theo, who will help with your questions. Let's see what we have now on the agenda. We will see how we can allow users to self-register and all the different methods we have there, how you can add the users into the platform, and how you can set up different sign-up methods per branch if you're using branches. Again, use the Q&A button and Theo will help you with your questions, and we will make sure we answer them live as well. We have 20 minutes. And you know that the session is recorded, so you will all get a copy once it's over. Now let's go to the portal. Let me just share my screen a moment. And here you will see a very familiar view. You can see everything as an administrator, the platform of TalentLMS. And as we said today, we're going to focus on how we can add users into the platform. So let's go in account and settings and click users. Here you can find the sign up method set up to be direct. This means that everyone that has the link of your site will be able to sign up alone, but you can add user verification if you want to. Here you can select if you want users to first pass a test, a CAPTCHA test to verify their account, if you have to pass a CAPTCHA test and also verify their email address before the account is activated, or just use an email verification method in order to activate their account. You can also be involved in this process if you want to. You can allow users to test with a CAPTCHA. This way, you know, they show they are not robots. And then you get a message in order to activate their account, or directly every time you have a new sign up, you will have to activate their account. So these are all direct methods, and it's perfect if you are selling courses or you would like to have less work and allow the users to sign up alone. What about if you're using the platform for internal training? In that case, we would recommend to use the manually from the admin method. So this way, users will not be able to sign up alone. There is no button on the screen to allow them to create an account alone, and you will have to add the users yourself. And there are many ways. The easiest way is to add users one by one. You will need to just fill in their information, save, and this way you will create a new user profile. Or if you want to do this in mass, you can go to the import functionality, click here, import. And with an Excel file and just copy pasting some fields, you can mass add users. You can also advise right here the cheat sheet. So for example, if you just want to create users, you can use this example. And the first line are the attributes that you have to use in order to create the users. And then on each row below, you can add the information of your users, the username, their first name, the last name, and their email address, and save. When you do this, new user profiles will be added in your platform. These are the methods we have available. And before we move to your questions, I just want to share a tip with you. If you want, you can allow users to self-register, but at the same time, make sure that they belong to your company. If we go in account and settings and you click on basic settings, just scroll a little bit down. And let me find this. It's right here. In the security section, you will be able to add your domain name. For example, in my email, I have mary@talentlms.com, and in this company, only people with talentlms.com will be able to sign up alone. So this way, you verify this is someone from your company, within your organization, that will be able to sign up alone. They won't be able to use any other personal email address. And that's it. That's the short presentation. It's a bit quick one because we want to leave space for your questions. Let me just open the Q&A button so we can answer some of them live. So let's see. A question from Leanne. How can I import data for all students that lost their history? Leanne, so I understand that your users have completed their training in the past and maybe you removed them or you just used TalentLMS, so you're bringing all this information here, right? You can use again the import option. With import, we can not just create users, actually, we can add them to courses and also add information like they have been assigned to a course on the past date, it's already completed. And if that course has a certificate, we will also issue that certificate on the day that the course was completed. I would recommend also to go to the help section and you can have a look at our knowledge base. Here we have this article explaining exactly how you can import historical course completion data. Let's go to another question. Again from Leanne. My goal is to have an expired certificate, create a situation where students have to pay to get recertified. It seems that once a certificate expires, the course is free. Leanne, very good question. So I understand that your users complete a course, they get a certificate, the certificate expires, and you want somehow the users to pay again for that course. I see that. So one idea is to either create a notification, and every time someone has a certificate that just expired, you will get a message. So you know you have to act and remove the users from the courses, reset and remove. This is important because we want to delete the previous information in order to ask the user to go to the catalog again, select the training, and this way they will have to pay for the course and then start the training again. So it's important to reset and remove the course. If you don't want to do this manually, and if you are on a premium plan, you have the option to use automations. I'm sorry. So here, we can remove courses from users when the certificate expires, but perhaps I should use just this option. So when a certificate expires, we're going to reset the progress of the user and remove them from that course. So automatically the system will do all these actions for you, and the learner will have to go to the catalog, pick that course, pay for that, and then they will be able to start again. I hope this helps. Again, automations is available on premium plans and enterprise subscriptions. Let's see. A question from an anonymous attendee. How can you add users and assign them as a role in mass add? So I understand that you want to create a user and then assign them to a specific user type, right? The user role. Well, now when you create users in TalentLMS with import, if you don't specify their user type, they will be added by default as learners. And that's because in account settings on the users tab, we have selected that the default user type, so you don't have to select it again and again every time you create a new user, the learner type will be pre-selected. So that's why when you import new users, let me show you that once more. I'm going to use this example one more time. If you don't have an attribute about their user type, they will be added as learners. Now, all you have to do is to create one more attribute, and let's go to the cheat sheet together. What you need to use is this one, user type. Just copy that, put it on the first line, and then again, on each row below where you add the information of your users, specify on which user type they will be assigned to. So here we can just create instructors, for example. But you can combine this. They can be instructors and learners and admins all on the same page. I hope this helps. And now let's go to Ronald's question. How can you send an invitation or notification to a group that they have a new training to complete? That's a good question, Ronald. Let me just go back to the home page as administrator, and let's look at the events engine and the option to create notifications. If you just started with TalentLMS, you will find under event setting some already made notifications for you. So we send a message automatically to a user when a specific action happens. That's how they work. And now you need Ronald to send a message to complete a new training. So I understand that you will be adding the users to the course, right? In that case, let's use this notification. Every time we assign a user to a course, So on course assignment, we want to notify the learner, so the related user, the person that was added to the course, that they have a new training. Now, the first line is always your subject. So here we can say new course available, maybe not with capital letters. And you can also use here the attributes. You can use the smart tags in order to add the site name of your portal. And then you can type your message. We can say hi and call the users with their first name. You have been assigned to this course, so it's time to complete that training. And this is a generic message, so every time you add a user to a course, they will get this notification. If you want, you can have custom messages per course, and you can achieve that by using the filter option right here. So I do want to send a message when a new user is assigned to a course, but just for this training, for example. So you don't have to spam your users for all the courses that you have. You can be very specific, have targeted messages for your users for specific courses. Then add a name. This is just for you, the admins. When you create a notification, we need to save that. So you create a notification and it will be added on the list with the rest. So it's easier now for all of you, the admins, to see what kind of notifications are created. And you can see that here with the name that you have given to the notification, you can see on which event it will be triggered and who is going to be the recipient. So that's a good way to notify your users, Ronald. Let's see, a question from Janet. Will labeling courses in numeric order automatically create the order the learner accesses each? And how can I make sure they complete viewing all learning items before proceeding to the next module? Perfect, Janet. That's a very good question. Well, by default, the way we display the courses to the learners, it's actually with the alphabetical order. So you're right. If you add a number in front of the title of the course, this is how they will see the courses, but we will not force them to complete them in that order. But what you can do, first of all, you don't need to add the number before the title of the course. I feel it doesn't look so nice, so you can keep the title of the course as it is, and here use the course code. So this is what you need to edit in order to add the numeric order you need. And this is how we will change the order the courses appear to the user. But we want to make sure they complete the courses in a specific order. And for this one, we need to use the learning path feature. So let me go to one of the courses that I have already. You need to access the course as an instructor. Let's enter to the course content. You see that page, and on the right side of the screen, you can find the rules and paths section. So here you will define in which order courses will be completed. Here is where you can add prerequisites for your courses. So for example, now learners have to complete this course before they actually take this one. So what we have done so far, we have managed to organize our courses, not exactly in alphabetical order based on their name, but based on their course code. So they will view the courses in the order that you want. And because of the relation and the chain we have created together with those courses, because of the learning path feature, we will also make them complete the courses in a specific order. And to answer the last part of your question, you also want to know how we can make them complete the items in a specific order. So by items, I guess you mean the units inside the course, right? In that case, let's go to this option and ask the learners to complete the units of the course in a sequential order. So they view courses in a specific order, they access the courses based on the learning path you have created, and they complete the training, so the units inside the course, in a sequential order only. So I think this is what you need. Let's go to question from Lucina. If you don't set a password for a user once you set them up, do they receive an email with an automatically generated password? Yes. You answered your question. Yes. Actually, when you use the import option to create the users, you don't need to add a password, and the system will generate a strong password for them. Now, maybe it's hard for them to remember. Of course, we can save them on our computers. We know that, but perhaps here best practice is to go in account and settings and users, And here in the password settings, perhaps ask them to update their password the first time they log in. So you create the users with a random password. They just need to add it one time in order to log in to the platform. But the first time they log in, they will have to update their own password, something that they remember and they feel more secure with. So you can use import in this setting, and the learners will be able to create their own password afterwards. Otherwise, of course, you can set a specific password for all. You just need to add the extra attribute on your Excel file. But if it's missing, don't worry. Now, a question from Brooke. Is there a way to mass upload a new set of users without entering each user manually or having each user sign up themselves? Yes, Brooke, it's actually the topic of the session today. So you can see the recording again, but let me just mention this one more time. We can allow users to self-register. And just to make sure you don't have random people adding themselves to your platform, you can use one of these verification methods. So a user can register, but perhaps you would like to approve the registration. So they create an account. It's not active until you say so. Maybe this option is the best for you. Or you can allow users to self-register. And if you're all working in the same company and you have the same working email, you can use the direct option in combination with this feature under basic settings in the security tab that allows the users to self-register using a specific domain. So using the email address that you are sharing in the company and not with their personal email or something random. So you don't have to worry having people outside of your company in this portal. So yes, definitely. And then, of course, you can import them. With import, again, perhaps my favorite feature here, you can mass add users to the platform with their information. It's just an Excel file. And to help you, we have also prepared this sample Excel file. So you can download this Excel, just put your information there and drop it into this content. Save, and that's it. Very easy. Let's see. I have a question from Gabriela. Do you think you'll make it available for course designers to select how they allow participants to upload answers with assignments? Currently, we have 4 or 5 options, that is true, but is it a way to restrict the answers just to videos? Gabriela, let me just explain to the rest of the people for which feature we're talking about. So Gabriela is using this option where we want to evaluate users using assignments. So with assignments, we usually add here some information, perhaps a scenario. It's great for role-playing scenarios. So we can add here, for example, that I want you to record the answer of how you would pitch your idea, something like this. So just add your text here and then select how the assignment will be completed. Either the instructor will have to review the answer, add a grade, add some comments, and then the learner will be able to move on. Or if you don't have the time to do this, we can accept the answer the moment it's uploaded. The system will allow the learner to move on to the next unit without any grade and score because the instructor has to review the answer, okay? So Gabriela is talking about this. Now, the learners have 5 different ways to respond to an assignment. And we want to remove all of these options from what I understand and just keep the recording video option. Is that right? Well, I have a solution, but we have to use coding under our themes. And it's going to be a global thing, meaning that this will be for all the assignments that you have in TalentLMS. We cannot remove those options for specific assignments only. But yes, with coding, if you want, please send a message to training team at talentlms.com so we can share the code with you. We can remove all of these options and just keep one. But again, it's going to be for all the assignments. Now, for advanced customization, like the one that I've shared with Gabrielle, I'm sorry. All you have to do is to get this code, a CSS code or JavaScript code that you will be using, go to account and settings, click on themes, and paste the code either here or here. So we can remove these options with the code. Thank you, Gabrielle. I hope this helps, and I hope I will see your message. Now, can I send an invitation to a group and not just to one individual at a time? Ranel, is this a message for many courses assigned to a group of users? If yes, you can use the notification event on group assignment. So you don't have to send a message for every time they have been assigned to a course. I understand that this will create a lot of noise and you don't want that. So instead of getting 10 messages because you have assigned them to 10 different courses, they can get just one when you assign them to a group of courses. And you can use this event on group assignment. Otherwise, if I understand your question correctly, you might be referring also to the messages feature, the option to send a message to some users. So here you have to select users, but let me just show you here that you can have all users, specific users. And here, if you're working with groups and you have created many different courses, you can also select the users of that group and courses. Maybe this is what you're looking for. If you can't see the groups and courses on this list, this is because you're not associated with this course. You have to be a member of the course or a member of the group in order to be able to see that here and then send a message to many users at the same time. Now, this is a message that we send directly to some people, and they will see that here in the TalentLMS platform in their inbox. And we also send a copy to their email address. So this way they can't miss that, right? Let's see, a question from Malcolm. Is there a way to collect learner certificates automatically? Malcolm, I don't want to give any false information here, but I think you can do this using API. By TalentLMS supports API, which allows us to integrate with other platforms and automate some tasks. So if you're familiar with that, you will be able to enable API and automate this. But just to make sure, I would recommend to send a message to our support team. It's free for everybody. And just to get in contact with them, you have to go to the help section right here and contact the support team. Sorry, Malcolm, if I didn't help with this question. Let's see. A question from Andreas. If the units are not in a sequential order, then the learning path is irrelevant, right? Well, there are two different features actually, Andrea. Let's go to, again, the instruct row and get inside the course. So by selecting that we want the units to be complete in a sequential order, we're controlling what's happening in here. So for example, a learner won't be able to skip the video and go straight to the quiz because they have to complete all the units in sequential order. So this setting applies to that page, while the learning path will, let me show you that from the learner side, will force the user to complete first course 1 and then go to course 2, for example. So the learning path is between courses, while the sequential order that you said, it's for the units of that course. So yeah, you can still allow them to skip units and have a learning path. It doesn't matter how you will set it up. I'm so sorry, while I'm reading questions. Okay, a question from Canis. What's the difference between a live session and a conference? Very good, very good. Let me show you from the instructor side. So we have two options to create live webinars, either from within a course. So it's a mandatory unit now for our learners, and they have to attend the session. Or you can create a conference, and as you can see, it's outside of the course. If learners don't show up, we can't grade them anyway, so it feels like a more optional thing to do for them. You can still use the same tool if you have integrated your own conference tool, it doesn't matter, but the conference is outside the course. Sorry, and the live session, it's a unit that they have to complete, so they have to attend, and that's how You can see a list of users that register for the session, and you can confirm later if they passed or failed. And that's how you actually create blended courses. I know that most of us still working remotely, and there are sometimes courses that we have just to watch videos, pass some tests, but we still want to connect with the instructors. So within the same course, you can have your own files, but also a unit that will allow you to connect with other users using a virtual classroom or a real classroom, actually, because you can add an instructor-led training unit, pick the day that you would like to have the session, and choose whether it's going to happen in a real physical location or using a webinar tool, the one that you have integrated in TalentLMS. If you haven't integrated any tool, don't worry. You can still use the default tool that we're offering to everybody, which is actually the big blue button tool for up to 40 users. Someone has the same cough. I'm not feeling alone here. Thank you. So I believe we have time for 2 more questions. Let's see, another question from Leanne. Which one of the steps removes all student history certificates? On course X certificate expiration, okay, let me go to the automations, Leanne. It's part 2 of another question, guys. So Leanne asked before how we can remove users from courses when the certificate expires in order to ask them to get the course again, but they have to pay this time. So the question, the second question is about how we can delete the previous history. So do this. When a learner completes a course and then the certificate expires, we will reset the course. I'm sorry, not assign a new one, just remove the user. I'm looking at the wrong event. And remove the course, becoming the phishing messenger. So it's the same course, you see that? When a certificate expires for this course, we will reset the progress of the users, and we will also remove that course. So they won't have the course anymore on their profile, and if they go to the catalog, they will have to pay again in order to access the training. But be careful with the resetting. As you understand, we're going to delete any previous data so they can start from scratch. If you want these reports, please download them before we reset their progress, actually. And let's answer one more question, but don't worry, you can still send your questions to our email. I will share that again. A question from Chris. When using a discussion board in an iframe as a course unit, is there a way that you can force the user to make a comment before allowing them to continue? So let me explain what Chris is doing right now. As an instructor, you have the option to create your own discussions, which looks like a forum, and the learners can talk to each other. So when creating a discussion, you can give a name to the topic. Perhaps it's a Q&A forum-like topic. You can add your message, share ideas. And when you post the discussion, anyone will be able to comment and start this interaction. But Chris has copied the link and using that discussion in a course. How we can do this? Let's go to course, add an iframe unit, here it is, and paste it. So there are more chances that learners will be able to view this discussion. Unfortunately, Chris, we cannot force them to type something here. We can only perhaps remind them to not complete this unit before they post something. And I could do this with a question, perhaps. I would create a new question, like a multiple choice. What is your username in your discussion? Something like this, something to make them look at the question and make sure, oops, I almost skipped that. So add your question here, just ask them, did you comment something? Yes, no? Only if they say yes, they will be able to move on to the next unit. So what we have right now, let me show you that. Oops, and I will select that. I think I chose the wrong question. I'm sorry. Yes. Let me do this again. I want to show you a good example. A multiple choice. Yes, no. So I can find this easier just to show you. You add any question that you want. We want people to say yes, that they comment it's something on the discussion, save that, and use that question for completing that unit, okay? So let's preview, Chris. Maybe this is helpful. It's not, again, something to force the learner to add something in the discussion, but here we have the discussion. They can write something. If they try to skip by going down to the page in order to complete the unit and go to the next one, they will see your question. Did you add your comment? If they say no and submit that, they won't be able to move on to the next unit. So it's just an extra step to remind them that you have to add something there. Again, we cannot force them, but I hope this helps. You get more answers this way. And with that said, we're out of time, but thank you so much for being here. It was the first session. I hope you liked it. And let me just show you again on your screen where you can send your questions. You can send them to trainingteam@talentlms.com. And you can also visit our website so you can see our past webinars, our upcoming ones. Next week, we have a webinar about how to customize your portal so you can register to receive the recording. Thank you so much for joining. See you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.